Ethan Reynolds stood on the rooftop terrace of his luxurious penthouse, gazing out at the city skyline. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the bustling streets below, painting a portrait of a world filled with promise and potential. It was a reflection of his own life, or so he thought. The scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the crisp autumn breeze. Ethan turned, his eyes lighting up as Olivia, his wife, entered the terrace with 2 steaming mugs in her hands. They have been married for 5 years. Her dark, flowing hair cascaded over her shoulders, framing a face that radiated both beauty and kindness. Her emerald eyes sparkled with love and admiration as she handed him a mug, their hands briefly touching, igniting a spark that still felt electric after all these years. As they settled into the comfortable woven chairs, Ethan took a sip of his coffee, relishing in its warmth and the company of the woman he adored. Olivia's laughter filled the air, like the sweet melody of a song that had become the soundtrack to his life. How did he get so lucky? Ethan marveled at the depth of their connection, the shared dreams and aspirations that had woven their lives together. They were a team, partners in every sense of the word. Ethan, a successful architect, poured his heart and soul into his work, and Olivia, a talented artist, brought his visions to life on canvas. Together, they created a world where anything was possible. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. Ethan had noticed the subtle changes in Olivia, the moments of distant longing that flickered across her eyes. He dismissed them as nothing more than the everyday challenges of a marriage, the ebb and flow of a love that had weathered storms before. Little did he know, Olivia's dissatisfaction ran deeper than he could have imagined. Her desires, like a beautiful wildflower, had begun to sprout and bloom, threatening to unravel the very fabric of their marriage. Unbeknownst to Ethan, there was a man who had captured Olivia's attention, igniting a passion she had long suppressed. It was a dangerous dance, one that threatened to shatter the vows they had made to each other. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of pink and gold across the sky, Ethan clutched Olivia's hand, his heart brimming with love. Little did he know that the perfect canvas was about to be splattered with betrayal, forever changing the course of their lives. The days blurred together as Ethan tried to make sense of the subtle shifts in his wife's demeanor. Small moments of distance and longing had become more frequent, like whispers in the wind that he couldn't quite catch. His gut told him something was amiss, but his heart stubbornly clung to the belief that their love was unbreakable. One evening, as the sun set and cast a golden glow over their living room, Ethan watched Olivia from across the room. She sat at her easel, her paintbrush moving in graceful strokes across the canvas. He marveled at her talent, her ability to bring life to her art. But tonight, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more behind her artistry, something he wasn't privy to. Unable to suppress his growing unease any longer, Ethan approached Olivia, his voice tinged with concern. "Hey, Liv, is everything okay?" he asked, his eyes searching hers for answers. Olivia paused, her paintbrush suspended in midair. For a moment, Ethan saw a flicker of hesitation in her emerald eyes, as if she was deciding whether or not to confide in him. But then, just as quickly, it vanished, replaced by a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Of course, everything's fine. Just lost in my own world," she replied, her voice too casual to be convincing. Ethan's heart sank, the weight of her words crashing over him like a wave. Lost in her own world? Was that what their marriage had become? A pang of doubt gnawed at his insides as he realized that perhaps he didn't know his wife as well as he thought he did. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan's unease transformed into a consuming obsession. He spent sleepless nights scrolling through Olivia's phone, searching for any sign of infidelity. Each text message, each call log, felt like a jab to his heart. And then, one fateful night, he stumbled upon a message that shattered his world. The words stared back at him from the screen, a cruel mockery of the vows they had made to each other. His own eyes betrayed him, as tears welled up and cascaded down his cheeks. The evidence was undeniable, a painful truth that twisted in his chest like a knife. Olivia's infidelity had become a tragic reality, a secret world that she had concealed beneath their seemingly perfect marriage. Ethan felt a surge of anger, betrayal, and sorrow all at once. How could she do this to him? How could she betray their love, their dreams? With trembling hands, Ethan confronted Olivia, his voice thick with emotion. He unleashed a storm of questions, accusations, and tears, his pain pouring out in a torrential cascade. Olivia's once soothing voice now grated on his ears as she stumbled through her explanations, her words ringing hollow. Their once vibrant canvas had been marred by cracks, fractures that seemed irreparable. The trust they had built their love upon had crumbled, and Ethan was left drowning in a sea of conflicting emotions. Anger and sorrow battled for dominance within him, each warring to claim his soul. In this moment, Ethan faced a choice. He could succumb to the darkness that threatened to consume him, allowing revenge to guide his every action. Or he could try to salvage the remnants of the shattered vows, to navigate the treacherous path of forgiveness and healing. But as Ethan stood before Olivia, his heart heavy with pain, he couldn't help but wonder, how could he ever trust her again? And would he ever be able to look past the cracks in the foundation of their once unbreakable love? Ethan's world shattered into 1,000 delicate fragments as he stared at the incriminating evidence before him. The screen of Olivia's phone illuminated his face, casting an eerie glow upon his expression of disbelief and heartache. The words etched into his memory, a painful reminder of the vows they had both sworn to uphold. Time stood still as Ethan wrestled with the weight of his shattered trust. The room seemed to close in around him, the walls closing in like a vice around his heart. A whirlwind of emotions flooded his being, each one vying for dominance as he grappled with the reality of Olivia's betrayal. Anger surged through his veins, a roaring inferno that threatened to consume him whole. How could she do this to him, to their sacred union? Every fiber of his being screamed for revenge, for justice to be served. But beneath the rage, a deep sorrow took hold, leaving him broken and questioning everything he once believed in. Tears welled up in his eyes, blurring his vision and blinding him to the life he had known. The foundation of their marriage crumbled beneath his feet, leaving him adrift in a sea of confusion and despair. He felt like a sailor lost at sea, desperately searching for a lighthouse to guide him home. Days turned into nights as Ethan spiraled deeper into the abyss of his shattered vows. Sleep became a distant memory as his mind raced with unanswered questions. How long had Olivia been living this double life? Was their entire marriage a lie? And most agonizingly, who was the other man who had stolen Olivia's heart? In his quest for answers, Ethan retraced their steps, searching for clues that had eluded him before. The memories that once brought him joy now served as painful reminders of the life he had lost. He interrogated his own memories, dissecting every interaction, every touch, searching for signs that he had missed. How could he have been so blind? Adrift in a sea of bitter contemplation, Ethan found solace in the company of his thoughts. The once vibrant colors that had filled his world now appeared muted, drained of the life they once possessed. He sought refuge in solitude, finding solace in the silent echoes of his own pain. But in the depths of despair, a flicker of determination ignited within Ethan's soul. He refused to let this darkness consume him entirely. He would unearth the truth, no matter how painful. Armed with a resolve born of anguish, he delved deeper into Olivia's clandestine world, determined to confront the reality his heart feared most. As the days turned into weeks, Ethan's search unearthed unexpected twists and turns. The truth he sought was not a simple tale of infidelity but a complex web of desires and motivations. He discovered a side of Olivia he had never glimpsed before, a yearning and dissatisfaction that had driven her into the arms of another. The realization struck Ethan with a profound mix of emotions. Anger and betrayal still burned within him, but a newfound understanding emerged as well. He began to see Olivia not as a villain but as a flawed human being, lost in her own desires and searching for something she believed was missing from their marriage. Ethan's mind was consumed by a dark cloud of anger and revenge as he embarked on his quest for vengeance. The weight of Olivia's betrayal hung heavy on his shoulders, pushing him further down a treacherous path. It was in this state of emotional turmoil that Nathan Anderson entered his life, like a mysterious figure emerging from the shadows. Nathan exuded an enigmatic charm, his piercing eyes seemingly peering into the depths of Ethan's soul. He appeared to understand the pain Ethan carried, offering him an opportunity for retribution. As Ethan sat across from Nathan in a dimly lit cafe, the air crackled with an electric intensity. This charismatic stranger spoke in hushed tones, his voice laced with promises and secrets. "I know the depths of your suffering," Nathan said, leaning in closer. "I've seen the darkness that consumes you, but I can offer you a way to claw your way back, to make them pay for the pain they've inflicted upon you." Ethan's heart pounded in his chest as he listened, his mind throbbing with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. He had become a prisoner of his own anguish, his desire for revenge gnawing at his every waking thought. And here before him was a man who seemed to hold the key to his liberation. As Nathan unfolded his plan, Ethan found himself captivated by the intricacies of his words. It was a dangerous game, a twisted dance where Ethan would have to abandon his moral compass. But the allure of vengeance proved to be a powerful force, overpowering his better judgment. "You see, Ethan," Nathan continued, his eyes glinting with mischief, "sometimes we find solace not in forgiveness, but in retribution. We can't change what has been done, but we can make them feel the pain they inflicted upon us. Are you ready to take that leap, to embrace the darkness that lies within you?" Ethan hesitated, his mind swirling with conflicting thoughts. He knew deep down that revenge would not heal his shattered heart, that it would only breed more pain and suffering. And yet, the allure of making Olivia and her lover pay was difficult to resist. In that moment, Ethan felt a strange sense of camaraderie with Nathan, as if they were kindred spirits bound by the shared anguish. It was a dangerous connection, one that promised both liberation and destruction. With a heavy sigh, Ethan made his decision. He would join forces with Nathan, embarking on a treacherous journey into the depths of revenge. It was a path he knew would lead him further away from the man he once was, but he was willing to sacrifice his own soul for a chance at redemption. And so, in the darkness of that cafe, Ethan and Nathan formed an unholy alliance, setting in motion a series of events that would forever alter their lives. Little did Ethan know the true nature of the man he had aligned himself with, nor the sinister web that Nathan had meticulously woven. As they parted ways, Ethan felt a glimmer of satisfaction mingled with a deep sense of unease. He had taken his first steps down a treacherous path, one that would test his morality and resilience. And as he walked away, he couldn't help but wonder if he had just made a deal with the devil himself.